upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
This is the Select Board Chair and the Select Board Representative tonight, Nico. I've been practicing your last name, but I'm not going to try it at this point. Did you see any errors or omissions with the minutes from the April 13th meeting?
No, make a motion to approve those.
I'll second it, and all those in favor?
Yep.
Aye. Public comment, there is nobody here at this point for public comment.
No, there is. You better get in here, it's public comment time.
No comment.
Okay.
Perfect.
Can we just have a report, wrap-up report on the tree work?
It could not have gone better. I don't know what it is, but because a lot of the stuff that got done really wouldn't be noticeable to the untrained eye, but the park is looking really good. You know, and since that work took place, Mark spent the day there too, helping with traffic and talking to people, and The guys, contractors had a great day. They enjoyed themselves. Northeast Shade is actually they did a mycorrhizal application and airspaded the birch, pruned it, cabled it, and
Yeah, that looks great.
yeah, and David's going to come back. They're going to come back again, gratis, and he just wants to keep an eye on the birch.
Yep.
So periodically he's going to check in, and if he sees something that needs to be addressed, they're going to just do it.
I noticed they lighten that maple too, if you're looking at the birch
Yep.
to the right of that birch. No, it does look very good, but you're right, to just a lay person that is walking down through there, it would be hard to notice all the work that was done.
They would have no idea the amount, those guys busted their humps, all day long. So it was enjoyable.
My thought is, should we, and not right now, a little bit later in the summer, should we set up another site walk just to walk down through and maybe target we'll let some of the foliage come out over the summer and all, and target some of the things. Because as I drove down through there too, and looking at some of the trees that we had marked to take down, and seeing how the pruning went, I'm thinking, maybe we don't want to take...
Well, we actually did skip a couple of the trees marked for takedown, because once we started looking at them, they did some work on some of the girdling roots, and stuff like that, because we were also looking at the aesthetics of the parkway, and there was one maple in particular, I think, that, I think the parkway from like the gazebo towards Water Street, and then from the gazebo towards Newfields has two distinct characters.
Absolutely.
And the tree end is so nice when all the trees are leafed out and everything like that. And one of the trees we had marked for a takedown was going to leave a big hole in that.
Yep.
So we kind of just made an on-the-spot decision. Okay, let's leave that one and see what it does. It might not be the best tree in the world, but it's serving a good purpose there. Sure. So.
No, Mark, anything to add? I know you and I had talked, and you were very impressed with how the tree companies worked and all. So,
First of all, I'd like to thank all the trustees for getting it put forward. It was a great thought for everybody, and I want to, again, like you guys know, thank all the tree companies and all the guys. It seemed like they all knew each other.
Well,
They're part of this group.
They've been doing this for 3 or 13 years, I think.
Seacoast, Arborist.
Collaborative.
Yeah. Like I said, they all knew each other. They all got along really well. There was different aspects of different guys doing different type of work. A lot of guys were climbing. A lot of guys had these aerial booms.
Yeah. And there was, they brought in an air spade, fertilizer. They all had their specialties, and they kind of walked through, made a division of the labor, and then whatever they specialized in, they split up and just attacked it and kind of worked from one end of the parkway back towards the center. And everything. The cleanup they did was tremendous.
Yeah, no, it does look great.
They did a tremendous job. I think they went, you see a lot of guys taking shortcuts, and these guys, even a couple of the crew members were down there working, raking buckets, they do deserve a big, I don't think you could really put a price tag on the work that they did in that day. I wanted to say there was almost 15 guys down there. 6 or 8 trucks, 2 chippers, 2 aerial lifts.
There's more than 15.
The air spade. There was a tremendous amount of work in I shouldn't say a short time, but it was methodically thought out. And like Dave said, they all had their special aspect of the park, and they all went about their own ways, but they all knew each other too, so they all, at lunch and breakfast, and they all kind of chatted, so it was a great group of guys.
They mixed a little bit, like they'd help each other out on certain things.
Should we compose a thank you letter to the companies? Would you think that that would be a good idea to do?
I think they just appreciate the fact that we made the effort to get them on Exeter TV. They were in the Seacoast online newspaper.
They were in the paper, yeah.
They got a lot of photographs in there. And like Will said, the guys, or I think it was Will said, one of the owner or lead guys said that alone, the guys get a kick out of it just getting their picture in the paper.
Sure. Okay.
And then, buying them breakfast, buying them lunch. I think we showed a lot of gratitude.
Sure.
As it was. And,
okay.
Continue to remain in contact. I think Will wants to kind of keep an eye on things also, like Northeast Shade does too. He's taken some ownership of it.
Yep.
And so it's all a good thing.
Good. Okay, and thank you for taking the lead on that.
It really was a pleasure.
Can I say something?
Sure.
First of all, I brought it up at the April 25th Select Board meeting and just gave a heads up that the trustees had, put forward this initiative and indicated, there'd be about 4 or 5 companies and breakfast and lunch and all of that. And I actually recognized you, Mark, that you volunteered your time to be down there. But if you could send me just an informal email, if you want to give me the names of the companies that were there and whoever provided food, then at the May 31st Select Board meeting under recognitions, I could just say that the work was done, trustees have met, it was a success, and by the way, let's recognize these 5 companies and whoever the eateries were.
Yeah.
Just something informal to me, and I can just talking points. I'd like to do that as a board and just recognize them.
Yeah.
That's okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
They do deserve a lot of recognition.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, events for the month of May. So, 21st, this coming Saturday is Teams event.
Yeah.
Starting the 12th and going through the 26th of this month is the farmer's market. They're back down there, then I'm assuming that that's going to be every Thursday right through October.
Right.
Now. And then the Memorial Day Parade on the 30th will end there, as it normally does. So I have one question for you, because I get the calendar from the rec department. If I send it to these guys, and again, I have my own opinion about this, but this isn't really business, so I'm not in violation of the 91A if I receive it by email and then email it to the other members of the Board of Trustees, am I?
It's a public document, isn't it?
It is. It would probably be safer, I don't want to make more work for Greg. I was going to say it would be easier if Greg sent it to all of the trustees. Individually. Like, for instance, if I have, even though it's not business, if I had something like that to send to the select board members, I have the town manager do it on my behalf.
Okay.
That way, if somebody, without intention responds to all by accident, then you're notified. Because the minute somebody replies to all, then, that's opening that up.
Gotcha. Well, even if I was to send it to Dave individually and then send it to Darius individually because it was sent to myself, or again, are we on a slippery slope with that?
It's no different than publishing or sending us a copy of what the agenda is going to be.
I think I'll say yeah, go ahead, and then if
I'll check with Greg too, because I get it. I think they've got it set up so I get it 3 times a week, and
I even get it.
Oh, dude.
I don't know why, but I get it. So it's okay.
So I don't want to have those guys. they don't need to
Suppose
get
I
it.
could send it to you.
They don't need to get it 3 times a week, but, all right. I just wanted to give you an update on the events because, again,
Well,
I know
I also, speaking of Greg, I contacted him today about the fence.
Okay,
And, because I put caution tape up on there's a section of fence down by the sidewalk that's, must got hit by a plow or something like
Yeah.
that, and it's a big gap, and it's torn and all that. So I put a strip of caution tape across that, and I called Greg to get the name of the fence company that Rec uses, because it's a small job,
Yeah.
so it's gonna have to be a company that does bigger work for the town to even be interested in doing it. And he said AAA does all his stuff, so I'm gonna get a hold of the guy from AAA. And I'd like, because I really think it should be fixed, because it's a big gap.
No, absolutely, I've looked at it.
And not wait another month. So how could we authorize, I don't think it should be an expensive repair. And I've got a pretty good idea what things should cost. I mean, could we authorize me up to a certain dollar amount so that I can get the thing going and get it done?
I would just say, and I'll make the motion that you contact the fence company and let's get the fence repaired. That should come out of the maintenance budget, if I'm not mistaken, so,
And if I think it's reasonable what he's proposing.
and just move forward with it.
Okay, all right.
So I'll put that into motion. I'm gonna move that you contact the fence company, get the pricing. If you feel comfortable with the pricing, go ahead and let's get the fence repaired.
Because I'm gonna make it really easy for him. I'm gonna take a photograph of it, and I think it's 3 sections, and he won't even have to waste any time coming to give you an estimate. He can just look at the picture. Okay, I've got 3 panels
Yep.
that have to come out, 3 panels that have to go in. And so it should, I'm thinking, $300 maybe.
Well, so I made the motion. Do you want to second that?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Okay.
And then when I left a message for him too, I also asked him about trying to get at least a calendar that they have to this point of what's taking place throughout the entire year. He texted, and also a tree up at Brickyard that he wanted me to identify for him because it was dead. He texted me just before I came here with the fence company information, but also the rest of the stuff might have to wait a few days because I guess his mother just passed away.
Yeah, he's gonna be out on
Yeah, that's fine. Again, my thought on this was, we get the calendar of events the first of every month, but we don't know, I know that they can apply 365 days or a year before, so in trying to set up some of this work that we've talked about and we'd like to do, it would be nice, my thought was it would be nice if we could get the calendar in its totality.
Okay.
The people that have already signed up, I understand that there might be other things that sign up
Well,
on there.
with the understanding that things are subject to change, but 90% of it, 98% of it, whatever is gonna be what it is now.
Right. I know that the granite posts have been ordered for the fence down at the Newfields Road end. Unfortunately, that was about a 9-week wait when the contractor ordered them. I have taken the pipes down to White's Welding to see if we can get them straightened out or just replace them.
Right.
his recommendation is just replace them, so I think that we'll just move forward with that. The section of fence that comes out at the end of, is it Park Street, Mark? That goes up the hill there?
Yes.
There's a section of fence by Betty Henneberry's old house there that's broken also. The post is broken. I think it's broken from snow, somebody doing snow there.
Wasn't that car accident a month ago, was it?
No, this has been broken for quite a while.
Okay.
So I asked the contractor to get another post, and we'll get that fixed also.
Yeah.
So that's in the works. Again, with everything being behind, we're just waiting for the posts and the other things. So that that's moving along slowly, but moving along.
Could I add my 2 cents to that, please?
Go ahead.
At the bottom of Park Street, there's 2 posts missing. And on Sergeant Sale, I believe there's 2 also missing. That have been for years, but that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, if you come along that Water Street fence, there's some repairs some more repairs that should be done, but let's get the ones that are broken first and get those fixed. Brings us to the question about, or my question about the irrigation. When we shut the irrigation down last fall, we found that the clock should be repaired, or it should be replaced, actually, not repaired, because it wasn't working correctly. We haven't used that for a couple of years. I think the last time we used it was when we overseeded, correct, Mark?
Yes.
So, a new clock is $625. If we had Wi-Fi, we could do it for $525, but we don't have Wi-Fi down there. My thought, or my question to the rest of the trustees would be, if we did seed work, it would probably be in the fall, but do we want to address any of that at this point? Because I haven't had the valves put in, nothing's done in the pits. I think they did check the backflow preventers, but
I wouldn't put any money into it at this point.
okay. That's how I feel too.
Yeah.
Again, I think if we want to target some seed work for the fall, we can
Right.
talk about fixing it then, but I think at this point, let's just see how the summer goes down there.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. That brings us to other business.
I can't think of. It would be nice, I think, to consider, and maybe we can talk about this on our next stroll through there, but where we took down those half-dead fir trees by the Academy temporary housing, it kind of leaves a big open gap there. And I think some evergreens along there, just spotted, just to soften that parking lot. And also just to give a little more sense of intimacy when you're walking through there, because it's like a missing tooth.
I agree. I noticed that when I drove through there. My other thought, again, we've talked about, maybe doing a 5-year plan and this and that down there. However, we had the original drawings. We had the original landscape. If we take those and go back to
What was there before?
what was there before, we don't have to hire a landscape architect. again, we've got the original plans. Should we sit down and take a look at those and see what may have been
We'll see
in there?
see if it's applicable.
Yeah.
You know, see if what was originally there originally planned for there would still be appropriate.
Yeah,
And if it was, it'd be nice to stick to it, sure.
all right. Let's,
Take a look at it.
yeah, I think we can,
I think I've got an electronic copy of it.
Yeah.
I know you do.
Yeah.
So,
we can maybe set up a session, work session, and just kind of go over it
Yeah.
and see what we think. And I would, at some point this summer, I'd like to set up another site walk so we can walk through there, but yeah.
and I also think as far as, especially since we didn't take anything out in the central areas of the park, we shouldn't worry about any kind of stump grinding at the moment, because everything there is on the periphery,
Yeah,
which really doesn't get much foot traffic. So I think stump grinding would be kind of a waste.
yeah, the only thing that, those holes from the stumps that were taken out last year have never been filled.
Well, there is some need of, I think, in two areas. One where the big ash came down. There's a few depressions there that could stand to be filled. And there was one other spot that something significant was dropped that it left, or maybe a piece of equipment drove across, that left some slight depressions. But especially where the ash tree was, because once the logs were gone, I went down and I cleaned up all the bark then and stuff and threw in the woods. And while I was doing that, I noticed that there's a few places where it could use a little bit of loam and seed and stuff like that.
Do we,
Or it may, some of it could even just be done with a fork, you know, to kind of push it back out.
yeah, all right. We can take a look at that. Maybe you and I can go down there and take a look at that.
Yeah.
But anything that needs to be filled, I think, we should be able to use the compost that the town makes, possibly.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Jay's got some loam sitting somewhere too, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm talking like maybe a yard.
Yeah, we don't need much, but I need to fill like that stump hole.
Oh, the stump hole, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I have.
Okay.
So, next meeting though, if we want to stick with the third Wednesday of the month, which is what we were doing before COVID, that would be June 15th. June has 5 Wednesdays. We could go, or we could go to the 4th if you wanted to, that's June 22nd.
I don't have a preference. Third's fine with me. Yeah, if the fourth is better for either of you guys, I mean.
Would I be, again, and if I checked with Darius, that's not going to be any type of violation? Okay. Let me check with Darius and see, just in case, I don't want to get into anybody's vacation or anything time.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the 15th, because the 22nd is kind of close to the 4th, so,
Yeah.
you know, I'll just, I'll reach out to him and check with him.
Yep.
Alrighty.
It'll be one of those two Wednesdays.
Correct.
And you will.
And I'll send it out.
And you'll let us know.
Correct. Correct. And I'll send out a reminder text too.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Mark?
Nope.
Public comment? I know you come in a little late. so
No, thank
I'll
you.
Give you a chance. And thank you for helping down there.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It was a great day. The weather was nice, and like I said, the guys kudos to them. They did an awesome job.
Has it, we didn't disturb the eagle, did we?
No, the eagle's still around, 4 of them.
4?
Yeah, I seen 4 this winter. Yeah, so it's great. It's pretty, it's neat. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the parkway. Now I'm waiting for the waiting to see the snapping turtles come up and start laying eggs. So that, well, the warm weather brings the snapping turtles out. So I would imagine here pretty quick down in the park, we're gonna see them.
We got one in our pond at the nursery. No shit. It's this big. I mean, its neck is like this.
They get huge.
It is so.
They get huge. It's unbelievable. And then you see someone walk up to it down in the park, and I'm like, probably we shouldn't go near that thing.
Well, I wasn't sure if all the tree work, they may not come back for a few days or so.
No, because I've seen them before when I was spending a little bit of time down there on Earth Day, and then recently I've seen them again, so they're still good. Especially with the alewives in the river now.
Yeah, good. All right, so.
Thank you.
Our fisherman's back too.
I'm gonna make, I'll move that we adjourn.
Second.
5:57. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Nico, are you in favor of going on and dinner?
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 98 and 22. Channel 98 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 13, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the